Hi everyone, Radhe Radhe. So in this verse, these are going to be two verses combined because it's very difficult to disentangle the two. So it is combined in both Prabhupada as well as Swami Mukundanand video books. Okay, so it is a little bit difficult to sing this one, so I might falter. I've tried to practice it a few times, but it's very similar to verse 327, where the verse uh, thing is that whatever I'm doing, I am not the doer. God is the one who is the doer. Krishna is the one who is actually doing. And when I get to know that, when I get to really understand that I'm not doing any of the things that I think I'm doing, that I am separate from the body, and everything that is being done is being done by Krishna. He's the one who's providing all of the strength, the energy, the whatever it is need, whatever it is. I want to raise my hand, but I'm not raising my hand. My free will is raising my hand, but God is actually raising, like giving me whatever I need to raise my hand. So when I realize that I'm not doing anything, then and everything is being done by Krishna, then I disentangle myself from this identification with this body, and then I can fully do everything for Krishna. So he talks about the karma yoga here is doing everything. Looks like he's doing everything, but he's doing everything for Krishna. So he's not entangled in the karma. He's not entangled in the sinful reactions of whatever is happening. So this one is a little bit difficult to sing, although easy to understand the word by word. But yeah, I'll sing it. Okay, let's sing it together. नैव किञ्चित् करोमीति युक्तो मन्येत तत्त्ववित् पश्यन् शृण्वन् स्पृशन् जिघ्रन् अश्नन् गच्छन् स्वपन् श्वसन्. And then the 5-9. प्रलपन् विसृजन् गृह्णन् उन्मिषन् निमिषन्नपि इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेषु वर्तन्त इति धारयन्. Okay, so I cheated a little bit. I looked at the English version to sing it because the words are separate. And here it's like this whole thing is one word. So it's like harder to see. I can read, I practiced reading this but it's just easier with this because it's separated out. Okay, word by word. Naiva kinchit karomiti, never, certainly, kinchit, anything I do. Never I do anything. Thus, iti, karomiti, thus, never do I do anything. Yukta, engaged in divine consciousness. Manyeta thinks, tattvavid, one who knows the truth. Okay, so one who knows the truth never thinks, manyeta, that thus one who knows the truth never thinks that I do anything. Okay. Thus one who knows the truth and who is engaged in a divine consciousness never thinks that I do anything. Okay, thus one who is engaged, thus one who knows the truth, tattvavit, who knows the truth and who is yukta, engaged in divine consciousness, never thinks that I do anything. Never thinks manyata that I do anything. Okay. Pashyan, Shrinvan, Sprishan, Jigran. Now he's listing out all of the things that we think that we might be doing. Pashyan, seeing, Shrinvan, hearing, Sprishan, touching, Jigran, smelling, Ashnan, Gachan, Swapan, Shwasan, Ashnan, eating, Gachan, going, Swapan, dreaming, Shwasan, breathing. Propalan, then we'll continue. Propalan, Visrajan, Grihnan. So Propalan is Pralapan, talking. Visrajan, giving up. Grihnan, accepting. Unmission, Nimishan, api. Unmission, opening, Nimishan, closing, api. So in spite of all of these things that we think we might be doing, seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, going, dreaming, breathing, talking, giving up, accepting, opening, closing, in spite of all of these, Indriyani, now we're in here, Indriyani, now I can feel easier to read this. Indriyani indriyer tharshu. Indriyani indriyartharshu. Indriyani, the senses, indriya are artheshu, in sense gratification. Vartante iti dharayan, let them be so engaged, thus considering. So, in spite of all of these, so the senses, he always knows that the material senses are engaged with their objects and he's aloof from them. So let them be so engaged, thus considering. Okay. With the light of divine knowledge, they see that it is only the material senses that are moving amongst their objects. So, those steadfast in Karma Yoga always think I'm not the doer, even while engaged in all of these things that he's listed. With the light of divine knowledge, they see it's only the material senses that are moving amongst their objects. So, these material senses, he knows that only the material senses are engaged with their objects and he's aloof from them. Okay. I didn't manage to do this last part translation very well one-on-one. I've not been able to understand word by word, but that's okay. Okay, so this is what basically Krishna has been saying over and over again. In the material consciousness, senses are engaged in sense gratification, but in Krishna consciousness, senses are engaged in the satisfaction of Krishna senses. Therefore, Krishna conscious person is always free, even though he appears to be engaged in affairs of the senses. So there are certain seeing, hearing, whatever are meant for receiving knowledge, where all of these are senses meant for work. And both of these, a person who's in Krishna consciousness, who is devoted, who's yukta, he's using the word yukta here, engaged in divine consciousness, a person who is in yoga, which he's calling as karma yoga, is never affected by the actions of the senses. So every time we do any action in the material world, if we're not offering it to Krishna, if we're not offering it to God, every time we're doing something, we are incurring sinful reactions from that. If we're walking, we're probably killing a lot of living. I have been struggling with this for years, for decades. I've been struggling with this, that what is the point of living if we're killing, like we're constant while breathing, while walking, the fact that when we're gardening, we're killing worms or insects, or when we're building homes, we're killing all kinds of, like, how do we live knowing this? And then the Gita answers it beautifully. We are continuously incurring reactions from even just existing in life. When we're eating, we are killing plants and we are incurring reactions from killing those plants. When we're just existing, we're incurring, breathing, we're probably killing millions of, or many living organisms or whatever, just by existing. So when we offer everything to Krishna, when we're eating, we offer it to Krishna. When we're living every moment of our lives, when we're offering it to Krishna, then we do not incur those sinful reactions. Then we are out of the karma. This has become clear to me this last weekend when we were talking in the Bhagavad Gita class that I was in. That's when it became really clear to me. And although the Gita has explained it over and over again, but I'd asked this question, like, when we're eating plants, are we incurring sinful reactions? Because obviously when we're eating animals, would it be a lot? So, but then the response was this, that yes, we absolutely are. And the way out is to offer to Krishna. And the way out for everything that we're doing, for existing, is to offer it to Krishna. And then when we're offering it to Krishna, then we are not incurring the sinful reactions for it. Okay. So I wanted to bring up this chapter 3 verse 27, which we had read earlier, which is kind of similar to this thing. All activities are carried out by the three modes of material nature, but in ignorance, the soul, deluded by false identification with the body, thinks of itself as the doer. So we are not the doer in ignorance. We need to know that it's ignorance if we think that we are the doer. We're not the doer. Krishna is the doer. And this one just makes it very, very clear, these two verses, 8 and 9, that we are not the doer. Okay, that's it for chapter 5, verse 8 and 9. We'll do verse 10 in the next video. Wish you a day filled with spiritual growth. Radhe Radhe.